when I'm not celebrating Rocktober by cleansing my chakras with red jasper and rose quartz. I like to answer questions and comments that again YouTube, so let's get to it. Hey Sean, personally I think this is one of your best intermediate lessons you've delivered in a while. The incremental improvement I felt in a week of dipping into this lesson, from confused look on my face to not being able to do it, to getting the forwards under my fingers, to slowing the video down 0.25 to copy the backwards and slowly speeding that up, really sorted me out, and now I feel stoked for making and setting and feeling some improvement. Anything to shift my playing along a notch after 30 years of playing is always a bonus. You're a legend, a scholar, and a gentleman. Good on you, bro. Glad you survived the hurricane. Thanks a million. Wishing you well. Best as ever, Rob. So this is a comment on a video I did the other week about something that you can do every day to kind of just get better. I'll link that video because it's really just about like taking a 3 notes per string type exercise and going through the fretboard. And I really want to do a little bit more of like exercises that you can incorporate and just doing like challenges like a week at a time. So I'm going to do one here that I think is going to really improve your playing, because a lot of what we skip in exercises is rhythm and space, right? So we're going to take 2 chords, C major and G major, and do something with different picking and stuff like that. Basically, the exercise is going to sound like this, and then I'll explain why I think this is such a great exercise. The whole thing sounds like this. So there's a little bit of triplet picking, or if you just want to play with your fingers, it's fine. And also chord strumming, because I think that's like a musical type phrase, right? It doesn't have to sound like a song, but it is something that you'll encounter in a lot of music stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to break this into 2 parts, the C part and the G part, okay? This video is sponsored by Elixir strings, which I have on my tailor at all times. These are the polywebs. I actually use the nano webs, so I will link you in the description with an affiliate link. You got to get Elixir strings, otherwise your exercises just aren't going to sound right. So definitely get yourself a pack of Elixir strings. They're the best. I've used them for like 20 years now, and I'm never changing. So don't even bother. Don't even come at me, other string companies. I can never change. They're too good. So we got the C part right here, and we're going to start on the top C, the C on the B string, okay? We're going to have 3 triplets going backwards, descending into the chord. So what that's going to sound like super slow is going to look like this. Okay? So that's going to be the whole picked part, and then there's going to be a strumming part. And again, you don't have to combine these right away. The cool thing about this exercise is you can start slower and then maybe add the next part to it later, right? So what we've got here, those are the first 3 notes. We're going to be thinking 3 notes at a time. Taking 1 beat, splitting it into 3 notes is called a triplet. Triplets are great for your musicality. You'll hear them in all sorts of different genres of music. They're very, very helpful, and they're just the coolest sounding things, right? They're also perfect for alternate picking, which is what I'm doing right now. Again, if that's not what you want to focus on, that's fine. Use something else. But what I like about exercises like this is you're working on a lot of different things at the same time. You're working on your timing, your picking, and maybe your chord and single note connections at the same time, right? So you're really being very efficient with whatever time you have to practice. So I challenge you to do this just for a few minutes a day and see how it goes. So the first triplet is 1 on the B string, open on the B string, 2 on the G string. The next one, open on the B string, 2 on the G string, open on the G string. So basically we're going backwards through this scale type thing, right? So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. That next count of 3 is going to be 2G, open G, 2D, and that's going to lead us into the 3rd fret of the A string, which is the root note of a C major 7 chord. Okay, so alright, now you'll notice that we're kind of doing a pattern, going 3 notes, 1 note, and then 3 notes back, 1 note forward, 3 notes back, and then we break that pattern on that root note on that C. So The thing, the hesitation to always practice patterns is it's hard to break out of them, right? You just get started and then you just keep going, which is, one of the reasons that I made that exercise last week to kind of try to get you out of triplet patterns. But there's a break here. We're jumping to the C chord, and then we're starting a brand new count. This is going to be the first note of a strumming count, okay? So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, C, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, and. So one of the reasons that this is really good is because we're practicing a rhythm that is actually not symmetrical. We have 3 triplets and then a couple 4 counts, all right? So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, C, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, and. Now notice I'm playing a C major 7 because I'm jazzy and I'm fancy. So I'm really kind of striking that root note. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay? So I'm still counting it. Count it out loud. Again, I can't stress how important counting things out loud is when you're struggling with a rhythm. It may seem silly if you're by yourself or even if you're like in public or something to count something out loud while you're playing it, but we have a much easier time using your verbal words to speak a count, and then there's a connection that you make when you say something that your fingers kind of latch onto, right? Because we're so used to using our words and like our, just our verbiage to communicate everything. Essentially, we're communicating music idea with our fingers. So I think a lot of stuff gets lost with like trying to transfer what we're thinking into what our fingers are doing. And actually doing the physical words is something that is like super, super helpful and very underrated, and not enough people do it. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, C, 2, 3, 4, and C, 2, 3, 4, and. Now we're going to do another chord, and then you can make up your own exercises too, it doesn't have to be that, but we're going to a G chord, and we're going to do something where we're going to ascend. But we're going to stay in a spot, so it's not the exact same thing. It's the same sound type thing, it's the same structure, timing-wise, but it is a little bit different. So I've got the G on the low E string, 3, open, 2 is my first triplet, and then 3, 2, open on the A string is my second triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. The third triplet is just going to be B, A, B, 2, open, 2 on the low E string. In fact, this one's a little bit easier because we're kind of in the lower register here with the lower strings. So maybe instead of doing this, maybe you want to start here. Alright. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So you have a 3 count and then 2 4 counts. You could be like, we're actually playing something in 11, which will impress your friends. So let's try it all together at once. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Now you'll notice that at the end of that G chord, when I make the transition, that 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that and upstroke is just an empty string set that's buying my hand time to get back to the next part, or the first part of the exercise, so we can do it on a loop. So I challenge you, try to do that just every day, just pick it up. Again, the whole exercise, if you do it at a decent tempo, only takes a few seconds, but just doing that as a matter of course, getting into a routine, I think is something that is like, it's a lot of fun. It brings fun back into your playing, where it's something that conceptually isn't really that hard. We're doing kind of like open position chord tones, 3 triplets, and then 2 bars of 4. Conceptually, that's not that hard to do, but it is kind of tricky. Kind of doing the alternate picking, getting it clean, and then kind of going back and forth between those 2 counts is something that, again, frankly, would sound terrible on any strings other than Elixir strings. The best in the business. But I think you'll find a lot of utility in an exercise like that, so give it a shot. Awesome. If this is a real series I'm 100% following and just added each of these chords into my repertoire as we go, this is amazing. You've probably noticed YouTube is pushing a lot of shorts, and I'm doing this shorts challenge thing to try to conform to the YouTube bosses, where I'm doing like a chord of the day. Okay, so far, by the time this video's come out, I think I've probably done 3. I've done A minor 11, my favorite, B minor 7, flat 5, and C major 7. Kind of like what we just did, right? So the challenge that I'm giving myself is to do 1 chord a day, a new chord a day, but they're all going to be chords in the key of C. So keep a lookout for shorts, however you do that. Maybe you have to subscribe. I don't know. I never tell people to subscribe, so I'm not telling you to do that, but if that's something you're interested in and you're not seeing the shorts in your feed, that might just be something you have to do. But yeah, it was funny actually picking 30 different chords that are all going to fit in 1 key. But that's the challenge. So key of C, no accidentals, just straight up diatonic. And stay tuned for more great shorts. Every time I hear the ladies of the 80s bed, I always imagine myself walking through the lobby of a very nice hotel towards the restaurant for a lavish breakfast and the morning sunlight streaming through the skylight windows. Above, yes, bacon, please, no coffee. So, again, I think this is a very elegant way of describing that you love the ladies from the 80s instrumental music, which really has just become like the de facto background music that you're hearing right now for anything that I need background music for. It's pretty funny. I was like toying around like, even from a lot of the videos last month of me redoing a lot of the Ryder tracks, it's like, oh, export instrumentals, because, oh, these sound really cool. This could be good background music. And I've put them in some of the videos, and I'm like, I really just want to use ladies from the 80s, like, all the time. So you're probably just going to keep hearing that just for the rest of my life. Yeah, I hate this guy. He's always messing with my dementia. I don't think, again, I've had people in my family suffer from dementia. I don't think having an annoying guy on YouTube is going to mess with your dementia. I feel like I don't think that if you can verbalize that this salty dude on YouTube that's making you watch these free guitar lessons is messing with your dementia, then maybe actually dementia isn't your actual problem. Are you taking any prescription medications? I can't tell if this is like a sincere comment, just wondering, or if this is like, this guy clearly is on a bunch of prescription medications. No, I'm not. I'm not taking any prescription medications, actually. I don't take any, taking like supplements and stuff. I was about it for a second, be like, gotta get my calcium, gotta get my zinc, and I just go through bouts of that. But sorry to disappoint you, no prescription medications. This is just how it is all the time. Natural, real natural. Just like that red jasper and rose quartz. Now that my chakras are super clear for October, I think you're gonna get a full dose of originality coming at you. Sean, what camera are you using to record? For whatever reason, there's been a bunch of new comments asking about the camera gear. I use a Sony A7C for the main shot that you're seeing here, and then I have a Sony ZV-10 for this shot right here, right? The nice thing is, too, I have recently switched to a couple Sennheiser microphones that I just have mounted on the cameras now, and those are awesome. The MKE 400 from the Creator Kit, and those are great. I used to actually run like a microphone from my computer interface and then just record everything from Logic. But this has actually made it a lot easier. So shout out to the Sennheiser gear. I'll link that in the description too if you guys are interested, because it's great. But otherwise, I generally shoot on Sony. Unless I'm on the road, then it's just the iPhone. Again, I did a whole video in one of the Ireland kind of vlog things about just using the iPhone and that Sennheiser camera kit mic. And that's really like all you need. It looks great. It sounds great. So if you're thinking about making videos or whatever, you probably already have. You're probably closer than you think to having like a decent setup. The new iPhones and new smartphones in general are really great. Now the lights I think are very important, right? If you don't have natural sunlight, I just have like 2 like little softbox lights right next to me. And again, if you have a well-lit space, any of the modern phones work great, but I generally do shoot on Sony just because I like it smaller, full frame, looks great, keep it going. For listening homework, I'm going to throw you to some of the new stuff by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Really surprised by how much I like this album. I remember when Fever to Tell first came out, back in the day, I was like, this this is the next great American rock band. Fever to Tell is like so raw. Karen O is such an awesome singer, great drummer, great guitar player, awesome band. And then everything after that was just kind of like and I wasn't really into it. And then they just released a new album last week, and I like, it's only 8 tracks long, and I only really love 4 of the tracks, but the 4 that I love are like it's so good. So check out the new Yeah Yeah Yeahs. I've been really jamming on that a lot. And then get yourself some Elixir Strength. You can listen to the new Yeah Yeah Yeahs album. It's hard to say yeah, yeah, yeahs really, really fast, but you can listen to that new album while you're stringing up your guitar with Elixir strings. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.